This is London with Bitcoin Spike and VIP Trader. Let's dig into the New York close. Shout out to all the VIP you will see in the top there, all of our VIP #1 trade group. Hope you guys are doing well. This is London, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. We're going to dig into the pre-CPI deliverables technically, very quickly, in about a 10-minute punch here. Let's get through the details and talk about, first of all, Tesla. We covered Tesla this morning. I informed you that we were at the specific 50% maximum, just making sure my sound was on, about the 50% maximum today in terms of that target to the upside. Indeed, that specific target to the upside played well if you took or shorted at that level. I expect you to do your independent confirmation in terms of Tesla or any trade. Absolutely. Guys, former hedge fund owner, private, non-SEC, not financial advice. You got it. In terms of the details for Tesla, we were at a 50% completion. I reminded you that that is the maximum probability in terms of the achievable maximum to the upside. We trade maximum or fractional completions is what we do. You'll see 8 wide here. We have multiple time frames for a specific reason. We have multiple levels of indication in terms of the 20 moving average is our specific key litmus test. Over under is bullish or bearish respectively, with more weight given to the higher time frames. Very easy. You guys got it. We're going to dig through Tesla and NVDA. Tesla with a nice drop, you guys have to admit, from that 50% threshold that we talked about today. Putting it into context, however, and looking at the entirety of the move, guys, about a 2.25% drop on the day for Tesla. Nice move. We can go over the details again. I encourage you to rewatch the stream from this morning to get that specific topside target, how we essentially described that and how we formulated that. I believe the 4 hourly from the specific, what was it, guys, that cup and handle, right? That specific sharp V top cup and handle, or V bottom cupature and handle formation in around that 50%, just bam, hit up and through with your Fibonacci extensions. What I'm concerned about is CPI tomorrow. Now, whether or not you want to go bull, whether or not you want to go bear, we will fall in line with the following. It is an unknown, period. It is going to be a source, we hope, of volatility to the extent that it offers volatility. And this is a chart here of the 4 hourly of Tesla. To the extent that it provides volatility, that's one, I'd say that's one, guys, bonus that we can deal with. That's one factor we look for in the markets. While we're looking at Tesla with quite a gap to fill above and below, looking at your daily chart, we have a gap to fill above, we have a gap to fill below. Levels of interest on the daily, we would love to enter in and around, and orders are waiting either on the 20 moving average or along this capital line. So in terms of CPI, we will be trading Bitcoin. Let's rock and roll into Bitcoin. We had a big pickup on the daily. Some nice moves here, and exactly, if you guys traded Tesla yesterday, you know we formulated on Tesla a nice head and shoulders across the top on the lower time frames. We discussed that today in the specific, in our side group, the similarity of a return to function here along, I'd say, an inverse head and shoulders, etc. Looking at a return to preceding flat bottom support. Nice return here. What is in play on Bitcoin is going to be the specific. Currently, we are in the works, in the mix with the specific 20 moving average on the daily. We've got longs above, we've got shorts below. Guys, we've got all kinds of action in there that the VIP in the back are trading. Congratulations to all of you. Looking at our fusion, guys, our fusion indicator machine learning is working quite well. We'll be doing some run-throughs, some rundowns on fusion over the next couple of weeks just to look at some targets if we can. Let's see if we can find some targets. And I wanted to spend a little bit of time as we close out on Bitcoin. Essentially is going to be the key focal, aside from potentially just a quick move in on with a couple of minutes left in New York. We can take a look at the NASDAQ, okay? We can take a look at the NASDAQ. Why don't we roll into the specific daily on the NASDAQ? The NASDAQ is expressive of just a slightly ascending level of support here. It's going to be something that the bulls are going to have to tackle. You guys know this, but if we were to look at the entirety here, we don't like how flat this is overall. So this is being assessed right now. If you're trying to get a predictive insight into CPI, which is technically an unknown number. You guys know that if you know it and you trade on it, you can try and get some insight on technicals, but if you know the number and trade on it, you could get into some big trouble. You know that, okay? So in terms of insider trading or otherwise, we can look at the technical involved here. We're not crazy about this flat bottom support, but as we know, in terms of the specifics for a bull run, bulls are going to take on anything. You know that. In terms of the dynamics here, before we were to get to this bottom side support here, be prepared with some action tomorrow on a potential pour down in addition to our standardized pick up frameworks. What are we looking at? We're looking at the potential here we're looking for the potential for this reignition or that engagement of this level of support. If you're drawing this out, just guys, catch that level of resistance, pour down to that level of support, tear that down to the level of support. And we've got that level as a bit of a buttress, okay, before we really have to capitulate to either this head and shoulders, which we caught that level of support earlier on the NASDAQ, okay, or this specific descending triangle feature, which could be a great trade opportunity. So as you look at this, I would love to see a pivotal move tomorrow. I would love to see a shock in the market, something that could really take us by storm, because we haven't had one of those in a while. We really haven't had one of those in a while, have we? In terms of an opportunity to really seriously trade the lights out of something, we'd like to see that. You're seeing a failure here throughout the day. Just to recap, in terms of a symmetrical triangulation that we're looking at on NVDA. So we had a pour down on Tesla today, just not really pour down, but 2.26%. Nice move. If again we were to assess the daily here on NVIDIA, we have a pressure situation wherein there is an expectation and a target to the downside. So while it is the hottest story going, you know that there is some interest here at this 426.42. It's just it is an established level of interest in terms of orders being at that level. So be prepared for volatility tomorrow. The good thing about Bitcoin is we can actively trade and hedge with some good liquidity. We're looking forward to that, and to the extent that you're looking to pre-position for tomorrow, I'll tell you, we are in a bull market. We know this. If there's not a surprise in the mix, we would expect things to continue to move to the upside. We're in a bit of a complication with some, let's say this, the NASDAQ is still within its channel. It's still within its bullish channel on the daily. So you're going to have to break lower ground. Bottom line, you're going to have to break through and establish lower ground. Can it be done? Yes. Would we like to, and will we trade it on Bitcoin in terms of an opportunity for volatility? We'll trade any volatility we can get. You guys know we're like lightning out of the gates with New York Open. Been enjoying that quite a bit. Looking forward to you all developing more and more. I want to shout out to Venus. What's up, Venus? Talking about CPI. We like to hit it from both sides. We like to attack it from both sides, ideally when we have an extreme amount of volatility and anything that could shock the market. So right now, if you're prepped for the go home signal, bulls are out of the equation, you don't have the go home signal. You just don't. You're up along a level of support. The CPIs have not rocked or shaken the foundation recently, so that is just an objective fact. You have a flat bottom support, a bit concerning, but in terms of the NASDAQ, which is the tech sector index, we're going to follow this and say that we're still within a channel. All right, so as we look at this, there's no go home signal in the market right now. All the bulls go home. You've been sent home early or late. It's just not in the cards immediately. So looking at this, we would have to capitulate beyond that the daily 20 moving average. The 20 is loaded with orders. Now work that into the equivalence of your other dynamics, your other charts. And Venus, thank you for shouting out to me in the stream. I appreciate that very much. I know you are trading. I know we are trading. Congratulations on all the success this year. It's phenomenal to watch and be a part of. Now, in terms of Bitcoin, let's just review real quickly. So there's no pack up and go home sign. I'd personally like to see some sort of shock and awe if we could see it. If, adjust the number later, do something, but give us something to trade. That would be my specific, maybe, I guess, on the record, but off the record, really. I'd like to see, just adjust the number later, that's fine, but, give us something to trade in terms of volatility. That would be appreciated. Looking at Bitcoin, we had a really nice move. I want to cover this very quickly live. Let me go through Pivot Finder. This was a nice Pivot Finder, guys, in terms of the specifics here. Let me see this, the Pivot Finder right here. Let me throw this in terms of the, and I've got on the hourly. Let's see if I can pick this up. I'm gonna have to bring it in from the other, because that's my radio basis. I've got machine learning intertwined with it. What I wanted to say was on the other charts that I've got lined out here. Let me pull it up on the side screen and I'll show you guys the Pivot Finder. Very well done, Pivot Finder. Where are we at here? Radio basis kernel. I think it's this one here. Here we go. Let me bring this over to you to show you how we hit into the specifics on the specific 1 hourly time frame and how this Pivot Finder works. I've been highlighting this to the VIP in the back. You guys know that. Venus, you can pay attention because you've seen this in terms of the ability of the hourly to predict with a spike on the radio basis kernel. What is that doing? It's a machine learning type of calculation that's doing what? It fits squarely within machine learning. Okay, radio basis kernel. If you say that, they're going to say machine learning. Like you say, yes, it's a machine learning calculative. Looking at this spiked because we received a very, very, very tight doji, extremely tight doji. Now, when we see those, they stand out a little bit differently than just some indecision, than one that's not really remarkable. We see that, and we really see with a spike like that, it means to us there is a tight, extremely tight doji that has brought some attention to the crowd that's paying attention to some advanced calculations, including machine learning. So it's not just any crowd that's going to say, "Ooh, look, there's a doji. Ooh, there's another one. There's another one." This is as tight as you can get in terms of the calculations that go into the specifics here. Nice to see the hourly play at that level. When you see a spike, be prepared and just be on alert. Be on, guys, be on watch for a potential reversal in the market or a potential directional move. Okay, just for a potential directional